Alright, I think it's time to try to get started. It's been a while since I've streamed, so welcome. Alright, new place, some new stuff, but mainly all the old stuff still here. Just, again, it's been a while, so bear with me as, like, I get the ergonomics back in here. Hopefully I sound okay. I actually can't hear anything from my headphones. I don't even know why I have them on, actually, right now. They are not the best. Not that they're not the best. They're great. I just am trying a lot of different things with my streaming setup because when we moved, I really downsized or changed a lot of what happened, of like everything that's set up on my desk. And so I'm trying to figure out, you know, where things go, where things belong. Where is my camera? I moved that in the last like 2 days. Great. Awesome. Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate it. Yeah, so how's it going? I know we have a whole 2 people here, so it's a great time. Gonna be popping. Anyway, it's been a while since I've been here, so a lot has actually ended up changing since the last time I streamed. Moved from Texas to Washington, which has been great so far. Enjoy it. One of the best decisions I think we've made so far. And yeah, now it's time to get back into, you know, the groove of things. I tried a lot of things for like content wise that I just wasn't really feeling and wasn't really like, not necessarily wasn't feeling, but wasn't really like, able to stay consistent with. So that means I'm gonna basically be like trying to get more consistent. I say as in a couple weeks I'm not gonna be able to stream consistently, but for the next couple weeks at least I will be here Wednesday nights. At least I'll be here at least once a week to keep to try get this going. Going to be building a budgeting app on stream here. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. I use a budgeting app called You Need a Budget. I really like it. I love it actually quite a bit. Paying $110 every year though is not in my plans as much now, unless of course I can't get this app working or the other thing I'm trying doesn't work. But so my goal is to replace that basically and then let other people sign up for it. That's just going to allow, hopefully for me to like, that's going to allow me to keep get a budget going that isn't, I don't have to necessarily pay for. I have other people paying to help support this infrastructure and stuff like that. Anyway, I want to build a budgeting app. That is the goal here. We're going to build front end, back end, using Swift UI for the front end because we're going to start with an iOS app. And then back end is going to be Swift and Hummingbird, as that is my back end of choice right now. Just lines up with what I do at work. So that's what I'm gonna roll with. Yeah, y'all pay $90 for a budgeting app. Yep. Yeah, we seems like 80 plus is pretty average for a budgeting app. So I'm hoping that I can possibly price this a little bit underneath that. And it helps sustain and everything, but we'll see. I don't know what all exactly the costs are associated with this, so we'll have to see as we build, see if I actually even ship it. My goal is to ship it. Like I said, I have 3 months until my subscription renews, but yeah. I also will say that the money that I've spent on YNAB for the last, I don't know, 2016 to now, what, almost a little bit over 8 years, like, has been absolutely worth it. I, like, if it wasn't for the price increase and they would have kept me on the lower subscription plan, I totally would have, like, continued on with it. And I totally... All right, I think we're good. I think we're back. I don't know where it lost, but all right, we're back. I think my sound is back. So let's get started. So like I said, we're gonna build a budget app. Great. Maybe the something with the lasers caused it to go out. I don't know. I'm trying things. We're having fun. So yeah, let's get started into some stuff here. Let's first get Hummingbird Swift. Let's get these docks going. I've installed a couple Hummingbird. We're gonna start from scratch here. The back end, like I said, is gonna run Hummingbird Swift, so we need to get that going. I think I'm gonna start building the back end. Bull, do you think I need to do a workout right now? All right. It went out of... Awesome. It should be back. We're just gonna deal with it going in and out for a bit until I can figure out what exactly is going on here. I'm guessing it's something... I don't know. We'll see what happens. Cool. So, as I said, it's really hard to see. We have some Notion stuff here that's just outlining what like entities I need in here. So we have a user budget. The name of the app is like a pocket budget. So pockets being like the different categories, stuff like that. I did a lot of like pre-work here to figure this stuff out. So this is what we're gonna go off of. I have the features already listed out that I want to get done. Same with like the expected UX and some business rules and data flow as well. So that's what we're going to go with. That's what we're going to start building. The credit card transaction handling is honestly the key feature for me out of You Need a Budget, just because that is like, I try to maximize our points as much as possible. And this is what helps me keep to a budget. Honestly, is the fact that it can take, like whenever a transaction's recorded, it takes it out of the spending, out of the category, and then puts it into like the payment category for that credit card. So that's what we're doing there. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna go off of. I think we're gonna start with the back end tonight. I don't know if anything like I said, Xcode wise is gonna happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and hide that because we don't need that up all the time. So yeah, let's figure out how to get Hummingbird installed again. So Hummingbird is a super lightweight, what am I looking for? Jeez. Hummingbird, super lightweight backend framework, web application framework for Swift, basically. So that's what we're gonna use here. Let's go ahead. So the fun thing is you can start this from just a package.swift file. I guess there's also where are their docs? They also have a handy dandy template file, which I think I actually have in Finder. One sec. Obviously, I'm very prepared right now with everything that I have going on. Again, I'm guessing actually anytime I do something on the Stream Deck, my sound is going to go out. It'll come back. Hummingbird template. And grab warp. Cool. I promise I will keep things. Let's make things bigger here. Should be a little bit easier to see. I will increase sizes and stuff. I totally forgot to do that before this. Do we think? Let's try it. Let's see how much this will. Oh, it'll really mess up some stuff. Before next time, I will increase the size on my monitor, and it'll be a lot easier to see. All right, so we have developer CD Hummingbird template git pull. Oh, it is not a directory CD template. Maybe that's the directory. There we go. Cool. So I just figured there were some updates in the template file. If we go to Hummingbird template, updated template version. Cool. So I can either use this template or run the clone locally. Then call the configure script with a path argument. Okay, let's do that one. Here it is. Where am I going? Okay, so we'll do .configure .sh. Not required, but it's super convenient to use the use this template button. Hey, Sean. Oh, I have not used their template button. I was just going to use this one, but we can try it. One sec. I'm gonna hide my screen again because I really should probably do other things besides like have a separate browser for these things and probably GitHub repo. All right, so we're gonna do cargo balance here. Yeah, I've never played with the actual like use this template button. I've only done the like command line thing. Nice. And let's see what happens. Oh, I was probably not. Oh, well, that's fine. No, that's right. Okay. Cool. Oh, I like the template would have. I mean, obviously it's just the same template. But having the Docker file included is nifty. Sweet. And then I run .configure once it's done. Let's see. Use this template and then enter the folder created and run doc. Yeah, I think so. So I just need to clone this now. Budget, git clone. Cool. Cynthia, you're super excited to see how the progress of this app goes. You're actually about to put your YouTube stories on and fall asleep when I saw you went live. All right, sounds good, Cynthia. Yeah, it's late over there, so definitely have a good night, and I will catch you later. I'll chat with you later, I'm sure. No, I really didn't mean to turn on. I really like Wart a lot, but they're starting to do a lot of like AI added things, and it turns into a mess. So I will probably be switching terminals soon here too. I already did once at work, and now it's probably time to switch it here as well. All right. So cargo balance, and then we're gonna run the .configure command, right? App is fine. Yes, please. And now I can run Swift run. And this is just setting up the Swift project for me, and then we'll open it up in Cursor in just a sec. I just want to make sure it actually runs completely before we do that. it just takes a while to actually run. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the audio. I'll have to like play with that a bit more and do test runs here. I did have one time whenever I was doing the audio, whenever I was like recording a YouTube video, my mic just completely cut out, like had a really weird like interference like halfway through the video, and that was not a fun one either. So I have to really look into what's going on here. And there we go. We have hello. Not that you can see it very well because my text is really small on my screen, but it's right there. All right, so we have that done. So that setting up the repo is great. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna do anything Xcode wise tonight. We'll just work on getting the we'll just work on getting the back end a bit more done. There we go. First build is always a pain. Hoping we'll see something like Python's wheels precompiled library. Oh, that'd be, well, I don't know what Python wheels are, but precompiled libraries would also be really nice here as well. Let me hide that. This one. Yeah, precompiled libraries would be really nice. I'm always on the hunt for something like that for like deployment, because deployment is its own like hard thing to get over, which is another thing I'll have to do in the with this app, is figuring out how to actually deploy it. I've always just ran stuff locally that like on my own personal side projects, so anything that makes deploying easier is nice. So let's open a project. Pocket budget, cargo. Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily the best way to do it, is running your own Swift toolchain. I would imagine that that's a little difficult. What have I... Yeah, I've played with Docker a few times before, but like, it always ends up like in a mess. I've done like Lambda deploys for different like things for my website, which like has worked pretty well. To do like AWS Lambda, but I think that's because Amazon's just running on Linux, so that makes it super easy as well. I think I can just add it, right? There's nothing here. I'm just making sure all the names actually got updated like I expected them to. App, cargo balance, we're using 2.0. Great. Initial project setup, config. Sweet. All right, so that's added in. Let's, what would be a good first thing? I guess to get some, I know I will also need to add Fluent in here. What I really do like about Cursor/VS Code, honestly, is the that the interface scales up when I zoom in. So like one of the issues I have with whenever I stream like actual app, like inside Xcode, is that the rest of the interface stays super tiny, but the text gets big, which is nice, but it makes it hard to follow along in the sidebar all of the time. For pocket budget and for pocket budget. So again, this app is like envelope budgeting style app. So yeah, let's get Fluent added in. So where does Hummingbird go? We want to do Fluent. Let's get to their project. So I want to get the Postgres database running tonight. And I want to get Fluent added in tonight. And I'm sure that won't take the full 2 hours, but it could. We'll see. So let's do here. Whoops. Package.swift. Sweet. Yes. That's great. Right? That's what I needed? I think so. And then we need the Postgres driver because I want to do Postgres database. So the reason... Well, so I'm going to go with the Postgres database here. Because eventually... This is really future planning. Is that I want it to be able to... I want to be able to have like multiple users on the same, like be able to collaborate on the same budget, but with like separate user accounts and stuff. I know I could do that with other databases, and I could even do that. I could technically write this whole thing like using CloudKit and Core Data or Swift Data. Well, I guess not if I wanted to do sharing with CloudKit and Core Data, but yeah, I want to be able to share, like allow people to collaborate together on the budgets as well. At some point, my wife and I, like we have the budget on our phones, but we sign into one account. So I would like to properly support multiple accounts. I think YNAB officially does support multiple accounts, but it has been, that was before I started it. That was after we had already signed in on both accounts, and it just makes it easier to sign in with one account. All right, so let's add in the Fluent driver. No, I don't need the whole Fluent. I need the actual SQL, the Postgres driver. There it is. I'm assuming this will work with 2.0 with Hummingbird Fluent. If not, we'll figure that out when I get here. Sweet. All right. And then let's go look at how to set up an example using Postgres here. Yeah, but a multiplayer budget game, basically. Whoever touches it last is the reason why there's never any money in the category. Postgres. Tutorial. Okay, so this is the app. Oh, y'all can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. So this is the app here. I don't need that necessarily, but where is this one? Application and build. So this is the logger. So if we compare it to like what I have going on here. Let's go back, please. ECM is all in the way. All right, so we have our application arguments. So these are what kind of get passed in whenever you want to like run the app, like on the command line and such. We can have the only thing I'm really missing is the in-memory testing, which I don't think is necessary completely. So if you wanted to do in-memory testing, so like instead of always persisting to your database, you could do that. So I don't think I have to do that to get it done. Then we have the issue with my screens being so large is it's hard to bounce back and forth. All right, loggers. Okay, so they follow a repository method of architecture, which I'm also going to follow an art repository architecture just to get like the data and stuff in. So I guess we will need something like that at some point. Router, and then the Postgres client. But if we're not, so this is if we're not. Okay, and then it passes in the regular repository. I see what's happening here, and then we do the build router. Okay, so we can follow this here. We already have the logger. It's going to get the log level from those app arguments. Let's go ahead and also do the same thing here, which is the in-memory testing, which means we're going to have to go and I'm not going to completely in-memory test yet, but we do need to support it here since it conforms to app arguments. Let's go ahead and add the in-memory testing. Sweet. I am using Cursor as my like IDE here, my code client, my code editor. It's all right. I'm not completely sold that AI will completely like replace me for what I've been using it for, but it is very nice as fancy autocomplete right now. The hardest thing, or the thing that I really don't like the most about the AI editors, is that they don't know any of the new things. So like what I mean by that is the like getting it to actually use the latest Hummingbird is absolutely awful. I am constantly like, no, use Hummingbird 2, here are the docs, here's what you do, and it still really wants to pull in the first version of Hummingbird things, just because that's what's out and about on like the world, like on the internet, where it's like getting its info, stuff like that. So that is actually something that I am trying to that is something that like makes it really hard to use like these kind of code editors. Copilot also, like as you mentioned, like lots of HB prefixes everywhere. Like yeah, I mean that's the same here. I wish that it was different, but it's not. So so fancy autocomplete, it's great. Occasionally there is some cool like things that it likes to do, that it can do. It's a lot better at like actual like iOS code and getting like Swift UI animations and stuff like that done. Like it's really great at that if I give it step by step what I want to do. But for this kind of stuff where I'm using something that isn't actually like written about, or like it can find a lot of information on besides the docs, it's a bit more of a challenge. Cool. All right, so that should be false here. That's fine. But yeah, the lots of HB prefixes. Me also in chat with it. HB prefixes don't belong to Hummingbird 2. Oh, you're right. Here's a new suggestion. Completely with all the HB prefixes. So that's a good time. Okay, so we have the type alias app request, context, same here. All right, so we have the router. So let's do the dealing with the in-memory database. If in, how do we arguments not in-memory database? Else. And then sometimes it's just annoying. Configure in-memory testing. We're just gonna mark that as a to-do because that's a lot easier right now. I don't have a to-do, so if you wanted to follow this step by step, actually, it's kind of cool. The docs for Hummingbird, which I like, are pretty good docs. They have a really nice step-by-step like walkthrough also on building a to-do application, how to set up your API, like what all the different parts are in here. Also, like testing your application and then storing in a database. So it goes through almost the same thing that we did, but instead of using and this tutorial, I'll drop a link right now. Instead of using like Fluent, which is what I'm gonna use because it makes my life easier, they use like the Postgres Neo. So your commands are a little bit more raw, whereas like the Fluent will cause it is like an ORM, so it gives me the built-in like type safety and stuff. But I really liked the tutorial to go through because it also goes through how to do it with the repository function. So it's basically the tutorial, I mean the example here, but it's using a different, is it even using a different? I think it might just be the tutorial, which is great. Yeah, it's just the tutorial. So if you wanted to go step by step and not see me bounce around, that is a great link to get more info from. Alright, so there is a repository setup here. I did say we were going to do the repository setup. Why not? Why not do that also? Let's switch to... Alright, so let's do... New folder, repositories, file, we'll call this we're just gonna go for user repository for now. Nothing has to be public. I don't have a user type. I think we can just do, maybe it can be empty. Yeah, we're fine. Let's do a new file here. User Postgres repository. Is that the right? Yeah. Foundation. There's going to be a lot. Like we would import Fluent here. Like there's going to be more importing happening. I don't think I want it to be a class necessarily. No, I do. Fluent has some special things in here. Where'd it go? Models. Yeah. No. So this is just a repository. It's fine right now. I probably will actually want to make it like an actor, I'm guessing, if I want to follow like good Swift 6, Swift concurrency stuff, but that's also a whole beast in itself. And then we'll do save user testing. I don't like this either, but we're just going to follow the existing pattern here because my brain is a little tired. All right, I think we're back. I think it just likes to time out maybe. So maybe if I'm too quiet for a small amount of time, like it times out. I don't know. But y'all miss me blaming Nick. So I am blaming Nick because this is his old audio interface. I might have to actually switch back to the one that I had before, which I also didn't like. It was also being weird. I don't know. There's lots of weird. It could also be like my cables and stuff not set up correctly. So we'll see. I have to play with it more. But I do know I need to do something before next time I'm on. But tonight we will say it's Nick's fault. Yes. I really like it. It's like an Evo 8. Like, it's really cool. I mean, it's really nice. It's really small. And it's like this big. It sits on my desk. It tucks nicely underneath my desk shelf. But it's not nice if it's not gonna like keep the audio going. So it's either that or I have too many things plugged in and maybe one of my hubs is not like sending everything back, which is also a possibility. I should probably try isolating the box a bit more. All right, so why if in-memory database? So we can do fluent.databases. We need to add a Postgres database is what it looks like. Let me see Postgres. All right. So I should be, so now I just gotta always keep talking, apparently. So we can do we need to add a database. How do we add, where are we adding a database to in Hummingbird though? We just need to make a Fluent with a logger first. So let Fluent equals Fluent, logger, great. That's the router. These are repository. Okay, great. So then we can do fluent.database.use. We do want Postgres, right? So like the great. Obviously these don't want to stay as localhost Postgres, but that might be fine for now. But let me go double check and see what the documentation always says. Hostname. It doesn't have a port on the docs that I can see here, but it might need it. What is the problem here? As. What is the as? Oh. Yeah, so we need use.postgres config. There we go. Why is it saying that this is crossed out? This isn't. Static func Postgres. Let's try fluent.databases.use.postgres. This looks like what the docs say to do. Oh, it looks like I might be missing just something in here. This isn't making sense to me. .NET. local host. We'll try to do this differently then. It is still, is it just that it's not necessary? Postgres is deprecated. Use Postgres configuration. Okay, well, okay, let's just see if it can fix it. What is going on? Alright, so to use the new non-deprecated method signature, I wish the docs would update then. I guess maybe it's new, I don't know. Would be great if docs were updated, if that's the case. But I guess sorry, I'm looking at the Vapor docs and they don't say anything about this, so yeah. Alright. I guess that's fine. I guess encoding and decoding context is fine there. And you added the disable. Great. Whoops. Yes. But it's still upset about something. No, it's not. Great. I know. We will use user repository. It's fine. At some point it will be used. Yeah. I mean, they're fine. Like, it's great to let me know when, like, things are deprecated, but, like, it would be even better if the docs were just updated. You know, that I'm looking at them also. All right. Thank you, chat. Sometimes it's useful. Sometimes it's also not, but... so then what is that, though? So, encoding context used for serializing, deserializing data. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I'll have to dive into it a bit more. Okay, uses the foundation JSON decoder. That's what I was looking for. And JSON encoder, sweet. All right, and then we also know that the user repository equals user memory repository. And then we want to, that's just set there. There's going to be a lot more repositories, but we're just starting off with users to get something written. All right, so then here, so my build router function doesn't take in a repository yet, but we should let it. I'm not going to, so where I'm divvying off from, like, the example a little bit more is like being specific, because we're gonna have multiple repositories coming through here. So yeah, we're gonna log.infos, and then we will use the user repository to actually make routes. Routes with user repository. But here we can now do the router equals build route. Is that what I want to do? Router equals build router with the user repository. What's wrong? Oh, because I said any user repository. Okay. Or I said just a specific user repository. I'm gonna do some user repository here. That should clear it up. I should probably also learn the difference between some and any, which apparently is not right. Okay, but maybe it's, what am I doing here that's different? It's really so nice to get warned so early by the compiler itself. Yeah, I do really like the fact that, like, it doesn't let me get very far without telling me that there's error somewhere. Oh, no, I certainly do not understand the difference between some and any. I need to go and read more, learn more about generics. I was going through the WWDC videos at the gym sometimes, like on the treadmill, like those were my pastimes. And then I got to generics, then I stopped going through WWDC videos again about it. If you're doing Swift, obviously there's the Swift like plugin, like extension in VS Code. But another one that I really like is SweetPad. Is it SweetPad. So if you're building any type of Swift in VS Code, or in my case Cursor, which is a fork of VS Code, I am using the SweetPad thing here, and it's really good for iOS projects, because you can build and run your iOS project from VS Code then. I don't necessarily use it for Swift packages because that's just built into VS Code with the Swift extension. But yeah. One sec. How can I ban a person? Sweet. Yeah, I usually also try one and then the other, so I guess we'll do any. But like, I was trying to figure out what the difference is though, because in the example here, they have done a sum to do repository, and I have put, and the editor is the compiler is suggesting any is to use any, not some. So I'm just trying to figure out where the difference was, but I think it's how I was doing it down here and not using like the concrete repository, which shouldn't. Yeah. So I think that was the case. So like some is whenever, so some, you can use some when you have more concrete of what you're passing in, is what I understand. So like, because this is actually just this repository here, it is a very specific to-do Postgres repository. It does conform to the to-do repository, like the sum repository protocol, but it doesn't actually like, but that's the only thing that's in common with that in the other one, right? So I think that's where you can use some, because we're passing in directly the to-do Postgres repository. We're not passing in the Postgres repository that is the protocol, that only conforms to the protocol. So I think it's just a difference between super concrete type versus like conforming to the protocol. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that. That's also a very, very big generalization of what I'm observing. So I think instead of going sum here, instead of assigning it at the end here, we can do router equals build router with this user repository. Now I could still be wrong with that. And then we can do the same thing here, but with the user Postgres repository. And that should pass. Yes. Again, I don't know if that's completely right. I am just going by what I observe, and sometimes it works, sometimes it means I don't have a really great like understanding or grasp, but it does help me like remember, oh, in this case, this is when sum worked and this is when any worked instead. Again, I should go back and actually read about them more. All right, so we have that in. What do we want to do next with that? Reconfigure. I think technically Postgres is, like the actual Postgres is configured. Now we need to get like Postgres actually into the repositories maybe. I know I will at some point have to update Docker and update whatever these things are my username, password, and databases. But that is going to be a quest for another time. Oh, okay, goodbye. Is that all that I need to do? Actually, it might be a quest for this time, to be honest. Now that I'm thinking it, because I need to be able to get the Postgres database running. But I know I'll need to like pass in Fluent to user Postgres repository. I don't know quite yet how to do that or what to do there. I think it's just Fluent. Like I can do Fluent that way and pass it through, or I could pass it through the context, I believe, and deal with it from the controller. See, this is where I'm like, I don't know exactly where we want to do this. Cool. Where are the examples? I like looking at examples because they give me more of like best practices on what to do, or at least how it's expected to go. Maybe right, maybe wrong, but it helps. Let's see. So these are setting up the migrations, the persist driver. Do I need the persistent driver? I probably will. Let's see. Okay, so this sets up the persist driver, which I don't actually know what that is necessarily. We also need to set up the classes, like the model, a basic model, and do migrations. So after we configure the Postgres, let's do migrations here. Add migrations, perform migrations if needed, perform migrations if arguments. So we're going to need to actually add another argument up here to do the migration, which means we need to go back and update the app. And we'll need to eventually update the Docker file, I'm sure, to do all these things. I'm also curious, what did I get? 6.0. Okay. I was curious, like, what Swift version I'm actually dealing with, and apparently it's 6.0, so it's fine. All right. We have the perform migrations here, so then we will say if argument stop perform migration, we will do the Fluent migrate. So here, I don't have any migrations yet. Let's add a to-do list here. I've already not listening to this. This is a stretch goal at this point. Set up PostgreSQL. Migration for user model. I think those are the things I need to actually get done for this to work at some point. Okay, so we have the migrations, we have the routers building. The router can build after. Oh, and then we need to make a user controller, which isn't necessary right now, but I guess I'll put that in the stretch goal also. All right, it's 9. I've been going for about an hour. I need to take a stand break because my watch has not picked up everything that I've done. So I will be back in about a minute-ish. Y'all have fun and enjoy, and I'll be back and we'll pick this back up and keep going with user models and migrations, all that fun stuff, getting this set up so we can attempt to run and then debug that. Night, Sean. All right, I'm back. I got my stand goal. I only need one more now. Again, if for some reason it didn't register during the workday, I don't know. It happens, I guess. But yeah, so we're gonna head back into, I'm assuming yeah, everything's working. We're gonna head back into the world of Fluent and Vapor. I mean, Fluent and Hummingbird and all that fun stuff and figuring it out. The dog might be joining us, I don't know. He doesn't know what he's doing. Okay. At least he's not joining us right now. He might soon. He might be back soon. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. Let's go to cursor again. Oh. Is he coming? Oh, he's here. Thank you. All right, Thorgy has joined us again, which is normal. All right, let's get into it. All right, sorry y'all. I'm also like, I've only done this a handful of times, like twice to be honest, with the Fluent stuff. So it's a fun time to figure it out together. One sec. Sweet. All right, let's see. So we have the router. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly I need in the Fluent here. Fire. Okay, we have that configured. Let's do. So what I normally do in my Fluent stuff, not normally, like I said, I've only done this like once or twice. What I've done before in my Fluent stuff is actually for in-memory testing. I just use a SQLite database, and like for the most part, that's what I'm running. But we should be able to do a non-in-memory database for Postgres. It seems like a non-like SQLite, and it'd be great if I just use the same database both times. But let's see how that works in the example, which is again slightly different because they're using Postgres Neo, which I guess again I could do. I just then have to learn Postgres Neo, and I'm a little bit more familiar with Fluent, and we've already started Fluent, right? Like, might as well just keep going. You know, I could just, instead of just keep going, I could actually just learn Postgres and do that this way. But like, do I want to do that? That is actually the question. So, should I keep going with Fluent, which I somewhat know, or completely just try the raw Postgres? Not the raw Postgres, but Postgres Neo. I think the idea is just to keep going with Fluent. As much as I think that the Postgres Neo would be cool to try and learn, and it gets it a little bit more on the little bit more bare bones, I think it might be it might just be a little bit better to only do one or two-ish things that are new. But then I can follow the example. But do I want to follow the example? Yeah. Now would be the time. It's do or die right now. I think we're gonna just keep it at Fluent. That's what I should do, is keep it at Fluent. So let's do that. Alright. Let's go here to, what are we doing now? Figure out the in-memory part. Use Postgres. I don't really need a URL though. Okay, yeah, I know that's how you use SQLite in memory. But how do I configure an in-memory SQLite? I mean, in-memory Postgres. Well, this says, so basically just do what I was gonna do. No, that's if not, they just don't create one for testing. Is there an option to test? They just don't show one for testing. Cool. You know what? Let's take it a little bit. Let's actually go and let's pivot, not do Fluent. I still want to follow the repository method, like, thing that I have going on in architecture. So that's going to stay the same. Let's just switch to Neo. I think there's a lot on Postgres Neo also, so it should be fine there. Yeah, let's just switch. Why not? We're doing fun things here. These are the wrong ones. There it is. Okay. Sources, tutorials, package.swift. Let's grab that. And we're gonna go into package.swift here. But like, it didn't show me how to, whatever. We'll figure it out. So we don't need these then. Right? We can just do package, Vapor, Postgres Neo. We can get rid of these. Add in here. Cool. And then want to get rid of these. I don't really care. User repository, great. I guess in-memory testing would just keep it all, and I don't actually have to worry about a Fluent database at all in memory testing, because it's just in memory. Wow. All right. Well, that's fine. We're going to do this differently anyway. So let's get rid of that. And this. And then it's going to be like, oh my God, where did Fluent go? And I'm going to be like, it disappeared. So we're going to erase it. We probably are still going to have to perform migrations. We're probably still going to have to add migrations. Postgres, Neo. That. I don't need that. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of examples over here. All right, let's get back to the files now. Controllers, application and build. Where did it go? Here we go. I heard a cat. All right, so if else, yeah, so look, they don't even, you wouldn't even build a repository. I'm like freaking out over nothing. You just don't build a repository for in-memory testing. I mean, you don't build no database setup needed for in-memory testing. So I'm just gonna put that as a note here for me not to, do not overthink this. J as a nice little note for myself. So when I'm like, oh my God, where's the database building for in-memory testing? There isn't one. It's just here. It's fine. Because it's in memory, so it's just a lot of it's just more like arrays and stuff like that we're gonna be going through. That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. All right, so though, now for not, because I was like, let's just rip it out because I don't know what I'm doing. We'll set up Postgres correctly now. Client equals Postgres client. Oops. We still need TLS.disable here. Oh, we have to import Postgres Neo. Oh, hold on. The cat wants out. that is the life I live here. Alright. What's from here? Expected host, port, username, password, database. Oh, it should just be host. Great. This is some of the stuff that I don't like about Cursor is like it hallucinates like what the initializations and like function calls and such should be for certain like properties and functions and inits and stuff like that, and it's a little annoying like to have go and correct it all the time. I expect it to be smarter than it is, and that's a downside for me. Oh, and we need a logger because that would probably be good. Cool. And then the repository, so like could it be an actor? Does it have to be a struct? Probably should be a struct, but that's fine. I see. So there's a create table if not exists, and then we can create specific to-dos. Is that repository part of that create table? No. So the create table. Okay, I get it. I'm seeing it. Are you? Alright. The dog is fine. I am going to do models. Do a user let's actually models, new file, new folder, user, new folder, user dot swift, import foundation. Let's see. Is there anything special I have to do with a to-do? No. The only thing special that we do need on these is if they're going to be going back and forth like over the network, then we're going to have to conform to them to attribute response encodable and decodable, but I don't think we need to do that yet. So let's do model, create. A user, what does a user need? That is a great question. Entities. So we have the user ID, display name, auth provider. So I am going to be using a auth provider. So this is going to be like the key for what auth provider I'm actually using. We're going to call this user raw because I'm going to have another user model that has like custom types and enums and stuff like that. But we're going to keep it. I think I can use enums in Postgres, but I forget how to do that. We're going to do a protocol here for a model, identifiable, and I think I can actually, so what, hashable and equatable. I think that's fine. Maybe hashable, is hashable conforming to equatable? Yeah. Do I get identifiable? I think so. Your ID should never change. It's getting upset. Foundation. I want all models to have a created at date. We don't need an updated at, do we? Oh, it does say it. Yeah, for most part. Let me just make sure that that is, it's consistent. Yeah, that's fine. Are there any downsides, I guess, to having my ID always be a UUID? Sometimes I like to actually use this in this case. Are there any downsides to always having ID in PostgreSQL database? Always being UUID type. Sure. Larger table sizes, index sizes, index fragmentation and bloat. Use regular integers, big ints, identity, or serial if you have a single database. Don't need distributed ID generation. Performance is critical. Storage efficiency matters. I do have some type of offline support necessary. I think we'll probably be okay to use it. Are there anything else that are shared? I don't think so. Okay. Let me just make sure real quick in a client. I'm just looking at the docs real quick. Yeah, so like a type must come, so from the Postgres Neo docs. A type must implement the Postgres decodable protocol in order to be decoded from a row. Provides default implementations for built-in types. So Boolean, bytes out of byte type. So does it? So I can't do like arrays. But we can. Okay. I mean, this makes sense, right? Like, I mean, I feel like that makes sense. And then we can query with parameters. All right. UUID is supported. We have integer, straight up ints are supported. Floats and doubles, dates. Okay, great. We're gonna actually make these strings. Fun fact. Because I would like these strings are, so dates are stored as strings, as what is it, ISO 8601 strings. Or timestamps. So like some of these things would have already been built in with Fluent, like timestamping and stuff like that, which is really nice. Again, I'm just trying to do something different because apparently the time crunch of 3 months was not enough for me to keep going, keep this simple. All right. So we have this model. Let's go conform it, our user. We're gonna call it user model. Just to a string. What's wrong here? Should be fine now. I want to, though. So we want to do hashable, codable. There should be a way to make codable types. Types use, what is it? Is it snake case? What's the case with the underscore? Underscores. Snake case, yeah. Always instead of camel case. No, but there should be a way to do it automatically. Yeah. I guess I'll just do this. That's fine. I'm guessing there's not a way to do it on the protocol level, so it's fine. We'll just here. Keep it this way. Because I think it's tradition that the names and columns have the underscores in them and are lowercase rather than like this, rather than camel case. So we'll do that. Okay. And then we'll do a struct. So all models have to be codable. Sorry there, great. So ensures all models have created that and updated that. And also adds, let's see, ensures are hashable and codable. I don't think we technically need to be hashable and codable, but that's fine. So then we can do a new file, user.swift. Provider created at, no, it does not need to be a model this time. It just needs to be identifiable, codable, still. Yeah, so this is going to be what's stored in the database. Model that is stored in the database. And then the difference is this user is going to be user that is sent to the client. Yeah. So this is going to be what's actually sent to the client instead of like what's stored in the database. So maybe this is a little preemptive here that I didn't actually need this yet, but I like having it already. Where did the examples go? Here we go. Alright, so we have the user model, with model, we have the repository. We have a user Postgres repository here. So I think it seemed that to use Postgres, yep, we have a to-do.swift, that's the model, Postgres. So kept it as a struct here. Client, let's do a Postgres client, import Hummingbird, import Postgres Neo. Oh, and we also have a logger. So this is where So I have a client, we have the loggers. The Postgres client's going to handle all the communication with the Postgres. Logger is going to log these things. So first, we also need to create a table. If it, let's do create table. So async throws. Create, oh, whoops. I'm really confused. Oh, this is just, okay, so then we need the, I get it. Okay, so try await client self dot client dot execute logger self dot logger. Wait, what's wrong? Is it not? Is it not a Postgres statement? Oh, dot query. Oh, but this shouldn't be a timestamp. And this isn't. I guess we can't have a default. Value there. Right, so we can't have a default value because this is just, like I said, it's gonna be string. We're not gonna store the text, store it as text anywhere else. Okay. That looks right. So that would create the table. So then inside here, probably what perform migrations would do, but that's fine. App, location, and build. Sec. Alright, so we have that. So I could do select user repository client equals logger client. Seems weird that we're, so let repository. So we don't have two going on. So then we can do the repository here. User repository equals repository. We're gonna have to do different repositories names here, but it's fine. For now. Okay. And then here, configuration, we have the cargo balance. Great. That looks good there. I guess, like, what do I have to update in the Docker file to run it, though, now? Oh, go back. Actually. Where does... Oh. We need to set up the repository. We actually didn't do that part. After the app. equals. Oh, how does this work? Oh, because you don't set it here. I understand. So if let user repository equals repository. Add service dot client. This isn't right. Why is this not right? Oh, duh. Because it's not just any here. It's user Postgres repository. Duh. App dot before server starts. Like, is it the create table? Like, is that only gonna run? Will that only run if it doesn't exist? So run a query on the Postgres server the client is connected to. Okay, but like... create a table. Where is this? Okay, but... this is like... Sorry, I'm just trying to set up a background process. I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding this right. Restore Postgres support by creating a type to conform to that. If we're going to save our data to a database, we're going to need a table to store them in. Okay. Where is the docs here? But like, it doesn't even look like it's actually doing that. Where is, what is going, like, that's the part that I'm just like, I don't. Know what's going on. Oh. Maybe this is what I need. Running queries. Postgres query. It's not helpful. And this doesn't look like there's like tutorials in it at all, so that's cool. Okay. So then what? I think, no. I think I need to then update the Docker file, and I think we can run this then. I think, maybe, hopefully. Oh, well, this doesn't even say I need a Docker file, but let's see. I don't need, though, now. I don't need this. Docker. Allow. Oh, Docker, Docker, Docker. Is this going? But I guess it will. Let's. I mean, I guess the. Let's go into here. I always forget how to run these apps. I know it's just a Docker command, but how do I run Docker commands? Let's see. This is something nice. Like, again, AI shows, like, it's a little bit nice here. That I can kind of just be like, hey, can you help me? I'm a little lost here, please. Yeah. So I wish I had more to say. This is confidently how you do this, how you do that, but we're kind of just stumbling and figuring it out on our own at the same time. Once we have like the database, like reading and writing to it figured out, like the logic will be like, okay, here's what we can do. Here's how some of the Swift stuff works, all that jazz, but it's gonna take some time to get there. Hopefully, this has been a good start of a stream again to y'all. And we're just gonna keep going. And hopefully, again, get this done in 3 months. But with how long this is taking me, we'll see. Still going. Alright, so what else has been new? So I moved to Washington. So since, I think it's been like a year, probably, since my last stream. Sorry, we're just waiting for this build to work, to finish. Let's add some fun here. Where did... Nope, that's not what I was looking for. Where did... What's this one? And then we'll change this to... Okay, something went wrong. Sweet. Oh, I'm missing an argument. So it looks like I'm missing some kind of argument here. Where is that? 31? Oh, we can just... do that, right? think that should be what I need to do. What's wrong here? Add service. Why? Why? I like when I follow instructions or I follow examples of things that should work. And then they just don't. Okay, so let's do this. Sure is there, fine. Router. Let's let this be a let. And then, oh, it should be add services. App is a let, so let's change this to a var. And we're good. See, that little S and the fact that this was a var, this was a let, caused so many issues. I think we could probably do something. Run it again. Alright, so while Docker runs again, and this is, to be fair, like my Mac has been holding out very well. It is a M1 Max with basically fully spec'd out like RAM and a decent sized hard drive. It was a lot of money back when I got it. And it's been great. It's been awesome. 10 out of 10 would get again. And I don't even know if like throwing more RAM at it would actually make Docker run faster, to be honest. Like, obviously I would expect if I got a new machine, it would be faster, but it's gonna be a bit till that happens. I have to get this out and have to get people paying for it. I have to figure out some other type of income with it to do that. But yeah, so what else has been happening? I've moved to Washington. That was a fun adventure. That took a couple weeks to get everything like settled and stuff. I guess that's really the only big thing actually, has just been trying to like get into the groove of like living here, which I think we have. We've made some good friends. We've made some friends. We've made some friends. We figuring out our places, stuff like that. We made a really good decision of like living in a downtown area. So like everything's really, really walkable, which is really nice. So it's been quite fun to be up here. Docker finished, so let's hop back to it. What's next? Okay, and then I need to run it. Oh, no, don't run it here. Stop. Would like to copy it. Oh, why? Port is L. Sure. What is running on 8080? It quit the task. There's nothing running. Oh, JK, it's running here. But I can't access it. So. Let's see. This map support 8080 from my machine container to my machine. So I should be able to get a local host. 8080. But it's still not letting me. Let's see if but like I think there's a way to do this without a Docker file. Like I think there's a way without a Docker file, like network. Like it's not a bridge, but Docker. What is it? What's it called? Docker Compose. But like, I don't need these to go from the environment. Why? Me talking to chat. I just want to use the hard-coded thing. Ooh, Coco type. Thank you. Woo! Welcome, Raiders. Thanks, y'all. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for the follows. It's been a while. How did the stream go, Coco type? What's up, y'all? Sup, Adam? Hey, no good Nick. What's going on with y'all? What's up? It went great. Sweet. Glad to hear. Thanks again for the raid. Awesome that your stream went well. I've been slowly trying to catch up on them sometimes. Not slowly. I've been watching them from time to time. And I've also have been actually listening to you and Compile Swift's podcast a lot more lately, it seems. I've started getting into the podcasts again. It wouldn't be me coming back to stream if I wasn't starting a brand new app from scratch. So I am working on a budgeting app. Oh, I bet it's the same one. Synthwave. I am a lo-fi girl. Synthwave. Yep. It's easy. I throw it on in the background. It's nice. Usually I have headphones on and it plays very nicely. It's nice focus music for me. But yeah, look, and then it's just like even smoother that you rated me here now. Yeah, I really like it. It's a very nice focus music. I don't know why though. Like I can't get Ecamm to get my audio going through my headphones. But if I turn off my headphones, it will play out of the monitor sound. So that's a fun. I have to figure that out. I didn't realize that until like 5 minutes before I was supposed to start streaming. So that was I'll figure that out next time situation. But yeah, so I went be back at streaming if I wasn't building a whole new application from scratch. So tonight I'm working on getting my backend set up, working on the backend, I guess, for a budgeting app. I am building like an envelope budgeting app. My Discord was awesome and gave me suggestions when I said I was going to do this. They gave me suggestions for what I'm trying to replace. I'm trying to replace YNAB. You need a budget. And there's a really good app called Actual Budget, but it's not a native iOS app. And I just want to do this. So here we are. That's okay. You started a brand new app tonight too. Oh, hey. That's fun. That's exciting. I am... What is the app? I'm assuming you're ready to talk about it since you started streaming it. Yeah. I am curious what your app is. I'm now dealing with Docker and that fun stuff so I can get the Postgres database on. A coloring book. Ooh, that's fun. I guess it also fit. You have like some other drawing apps, right? Like Kineo is a drawing app if I remember right. Maybe I'm making the name up. Oh my goodness. But nice. Coloring books are fun. All right, let's see. So I guess I need a Docker Compose file. Go away. Docker compose.yaml. Apply that. And if I just... Okay. Yes. We can just keep the hard-coded values, but add them to point to the Docker container. So we just need to, in here, change this to DB. It seems like that can all stay the same. I am just trying to go for what I can easily run rather than trying to do this correct, like full on correct at this point. Because like I'm guessing that this is gonna have to change if I want to do a wherever I decide to host my Postgres like servers and stuff like that at some point. But I have to actually finish the app, so I'm just trying to set the stage small first, right? All right. Yeah, so before CocoaType, yeah, so this is, the plan is not to let it run. The plan will be to host eventually on like probably DigitalOcean or something. I don't know yet. It's Swift on the server though. So this is, I'm using Hummingbird as CocoaType brought out. Y'all missed the first hour where I was trying to get, not really trying to get Hummingbird worked out because I just used the template. But yes, we are also using Hummingbird here. Going to be using Postgres Neo to get the Postgres integration going. And then we will eventually move into the iOS app and get the iOS side working. Nice. I am really glad that this worked out quite well as being a seamless rate. Hey. Sorry. Cat feeders go off and yeah. He says hello back. He is ready to go eat and go get his treat and go to bed. Little does he know his Wednesdays are a little bit longer now. Oh, something did not work right. The port was already allocated. But yes, he says hello back. Yeah, so my plan is eventually this is all Swift on server. Eventually it will be hosted, not here. I have to get to that point though to be able to do that. But I figured I'd tackle the database and backend side first a bit and get that logic in, and then we can work on the iOS side next. But I thought the backend would be a fun place to start for some reason. And I'm using Cursor to help me figure out what exactly I have to do for my Docker Compose file, because Docker is still relatively new to me. Maybe I just have something running still. Yeah, that's the case. So let's kill these. Great. And let's build again. All right, so it looks like appears to contain a database. We have a database. System was shut down, is ready to accept. So I think I should be able to do this. Sweet. All right, so Docker is working because we have the hello here. So that's awesome. Okay, whatever. There it is. There's a hello. So Docker's working. Let's see if we can get connected to the table. That would be the next step, is to get that there. So let's connect. New. I could, yeah, we'll just do new. Postgres. So I will fix my computer monitor next time. Again, getting back into the swing of things. It's a fun time. Cargo. Yep. What is it? It is very easily hard-coded as all Postgres. Sounds good, Cocotype. Appreciate you dropping by. Appreciate you bringing the raid. Have a great night and enjoy time with the pets. I appreciate it. You also have good luck with the new app. The coloring book sounds fun. And tell your cats I say hi. We'll have to change the database name at some point too. Test. Why did that fail? It is 5432. Oh, is it though? 0 maybe? Okay. Port failed, connection refused. Is the server running on the host? It is running on the host. I'm probably not gonna go for too much longer. Also, y'all, I'm probably gonna figure out how to get this running, and then we'll probably call it a night, just because I still have pet stuff also. Expected. No, those sound like them. Oh, Nutterfy. Oh, Nutter. I mean, that just made it really easy for you. Since you had both going, the only difference was the voice, right? That's a good one. That's good. It ended up as such a nice little carryover. That's so fun. Okay, so what am I doing wrong here? It should just be localhost. Is it not? What port should I be exposing to here? It says, Am I exposing the database correctly? Well, yeah, I do. Okay, so we can just add ports here. Well, that seems too easy. I guess I could have tried that myself without Googling, or without using chat, but that was... These kind of like one-off questions are where I have found the AI to be really helpful, because it definitely knows more than I do, or it can go and find the information a lot quicker than I can. This should work, hopefully. I realized I used to not conflict with Unutter and Coco Type. Like, y'all streams would start so much later, and I could just, like, as soon as I was ending my stream, I would pass into y'all. I could raid y'all streams, or if no one was watching, which happens sometimes, like, I'd just go and click onto y'all's and watch y'all's until I fell asleep. And then I moved. And now we're all relatively at the same time, which is fine. It just causes a little bit more of like block of who to watch and stuff like that. But yeah. And Thorgy gets all his like walking and stuff in like right after work, which I end at like 3 my time. But yeah, time zones throw everything off. Docker always just takes so long. But I really need to be able to have the like Postgres database up, or else that like, I guess I could still do everything just like in memory, but I think, all right, we're up. Let's see if this works. 5, 4, 3, 2. Test. Connect. And look, we have a table. So that is fun. Alright. Sounds good, Adam. Thanks so much for dropping by. Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully keep it up. So, you know, make sure notifications, all that stuff is turned on, and I will catch you next time. I appreciate you dropping by. But yeah, we have a database here, which is super cool, super great. I'm just gonna check my Notion doc real quick and make sure that I did what I necessarily wanted, but I have to, Thorgy's begging for a treat. I should probably get to bed because I have work tomorrow still. We have that. Yeah. We have migration. We can create a table. We've have a user model. So yeah, what y'all missed was, again, I created like a very basic like repository to get started here. I did a user model, which this is going to be what's stored in the database. So we're basically keeping strings, if there's going to be int, stuff like that, really basic types. And then we'll deal with actual like client side stuff with using and like logic and everything using proper types with proper Swift types and stuff. So I don't have to deal with going to and from the database, like having to convert and make sure the database types are right. I can do that in a custom init and stuff like that. So that's where we got today. It's very exciting trying to get the Postgres client and such working. So yeah, I am going to try to only do this on stream. Sometimes when I get really into a project, I am like, this is all I'm doing, but I am also working on iHog, some updates to iHog outside of work. So this is why I'm like 3 months is really gonna be a hard like timeline for me to get into it, because I'm gonna try to only do this on stream. And right now I'm gonna stream 1 to 2 days a week is the goal. So it'll take some time. We'll figure it out. And most Wednesdays I'll probably try to go a little bit longer. But as I said, thanks everyone for dropping by. I'm gonna call it here for tonight. Hit my goals. Feel free to join the Discord. Hit me up on anywhere else on socials, and I will catch you probably sometime later this week or next week. Bye, y'all. Oh my goodness. I don't know how to end the stream. Where did my scenes go? No, still not right. All right, I'm just gonna hit finish, and I will catch y'all next time. Bye, y'all.